Today we're going to talk about the cognitive network. It's a new term. It wasn't used in the past 2 years. It came with the evolution of AI and the spike of Gen AI adoption. It is the next evolution of our network infrastructure, a cognitive network, and a network that can sense what's around it, it can learn, and it can adapt. Today, we'll hear more about cognitive networks from our speakers, and I would like to start with our first distinguished speaker, Mr. Raja G. Mr. Raja G is the Tata Elxsi CTO, Communication Tech and Platforms. Also, he is the Roadmap Committee Chair in India TSDSI, Telecom Standardization Organization. Without further ado, Mr. Raja G, please come to the stage.
Thank you, Najla, and good evening, everyone. It is a privilege to be part of here as part of the MWC Doha event. And interestingly, we are going to talk about cognitive network, and it starts with the rethinking. And in the age of intelligence, it's also about bringing the human traits of reimagining also. So I would like to add the reimagination also as part of the rethinking part. So it has 3 or 4 dimensions to be looked upon as a driving force. The 4 major driving forces creating a kind of a flywheel effect for networks of AI and AI for networks. The driving force are: 1, in the AI era, the compute paradigm itself is getting redefined. It's going to be defined as GPUs, TPUs, and moving forward XPUs and AI infra and forms. And this is equivalent to the earlier computing processing architecture and infrastructure. You look at the operating system as a technology stack. Now you see an equivalence of data operating system, the data operating system being LLMs, SLMs, tiny language models, moving on to the cognitive models and world models. That's the way the evolution takes place as a data-driven, massively data-driven operating system. And then on the enterprise application layer, you see a different kind of tools powered by agentic enterprise and productivity tools. And there comes the apps and services as part of AI as a service. So one of the key force, the driving force for the telco as an industry is about the major data concerns and data privacy concern. When it comes to individual users, the data privacy; with enterprises, it is about privacy and security. For the regions and then the nations, it's about localization, about the language, about the context, important element of context, the so-called data gravity. So the data gravity, governance, as well as the guardrail, these 3 major data governance aspects further drives into the sovereign data, which is primarily governed by the data privacy, the data privacy acts, and the sovereign cloud. Because if the sovereignty of data comes in, then the data persistence layer has to be in the cloud, and data being the fundamental fulcrum of AI, the sovereign AI also is trying to be a very part of it. So this becomes a huge opportunity for the telco and telco innovation ecosystem for monetizing it. So this is the other major driving force. So the telco ecosystem has a huge possibility of new innovation in the business model. The business model innovation being built on the distributed AI backbones. The network architecture is no longer is going to be a summation of the access, RAN devices, mobile core, and then transport. It is being embedded with AI infrastructure. In the sense, the communication infrastructure is going to be coalesced with compute infrastructure and then distributed compute infrastructure. So that is what is being primarily called as distributed AI infrastructure backbone. So the internet backbone is going to be reimagined, rebuilt as a, I would say, a combined AI backbone and internet backbone. So this provides a huge opportunity with the sovereignty coming in, sovereign data coming in as through APIs. We are talking about API as a monetization engine for telco. Can the API can be used for leveraging these sovereign aspects? And some of the early works on network as a service paradigm, network APIs, network slicing can be remapped here as a AI slice. Can this be mapped as a AI slice? So this is how the new architecture can be reimagined. So when we discussed about network for AI, that's where the distributed AI backbone is being reimagined. In the context of the AI for network, we had been following standards from TM Forum. There are TM Forum autonomous level, standard levels are being defined from level 0 to level 5. So in addition to it, what we'll be able to see is additional layer of distributed data center AADC infrastructure ranging from few megawatts of power to gigawatt power. So you can see a edge data center, local DC, regional DC, up to national DC. So the hierarchy of data center also is taking cognizance of the transport cost, the inference decisions when it comes to training versus inference, the power of the GPUs, power of the processor involved, all of this is being accounted when this kind of an hierarchical architecture is being conceived. The most important element of the reimagined architecture is about the data-driven digital twin combined with the process modeling digital twin here. This is another key element of usage for planning, estimation, and for dynamic orchestration. There is considerable amount of elasticity and plasticity of the network is in need of when there are bursts of traffic, burst of AI data traffic starts flowing into the network, and that is where the digital twin is going to aid the intent-based orchestration, the multi-agent orchestration part. So there is quite a bit of standardization activity could be leveraged right from the ARAN, some of the ORAN decomposed distributed architecture, the work in Camara and GSM APIs and TM Forum for monetizing using the API economy. So it's a quick road ahead. There had been a considerable amount of discussion about start the experiment and do a quick calibration of the use cases which are going to create a significant impact exposed through AI, and then experiment with the network slice, and then do a lot of use case based quick adoption of the new age architecture, the cognitive architecture, the rethinking and reimagining of the architecture we are talking about. So that's the key elements of the new age cognitive architecture I would like to discuss and present. And thank you for the wonderful opportunity, and thank you for the patient listening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.